What's happening, guys? Markel here at the Northwest Food Show at the Portland Expo Center. We're here on day 2 on Monday, finishing up actually here pretty soon. So if you guys have not come down here and got yourself some cheesecake or some food in general, you're missing out and you need to come down. You can use VIP26 as a promo code to get in for free. But otherwise, we are here with Jen with Beloved Cheesecakes.
Yes.
And can you just tell us a little bit about what you guys got going on in your booth today?
Okay. Well, we're actually here with our dry ice supplier, Lindy.
Okay.
Lindy Gas and Welding, I think. And they supply our dry ice because we ship cheesecakes all over the nation and you have to ship with dry ice so they don't get smushed.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
If you didn't know that about packaging cheesecake, you need dry ice to do it. Okay. And you guys are a believer at the front, like right when you come in the entrance,
right when you come in.
hit a quick left and they got the cheesecake around the side.
Yep.
I am telling you, you see the guy with the amazing wavy hair. Oh my gosh.
That's my husband.
That's her husband. Say way. Okay, just get the cheesecake, dang it. But otherwise, so question for you, what were you before you were making cheesecakes, having a booth at an expo and all this kind of stuff? What were you doing prior to this?
Well, it's a story. I came out of a domestic violent marriage in 2014 with 3 boys. And before that, I was a stay-at-home mom. So as soon as all that happened, I jumped in their workforce, started waitressing, working at a winery.
Yeah.
And I was on a food share program called Gleaners. And I got a flat of blackberries in December 2015. And didn't know what I was going to do with them. So I decided to make a blackberry cheesecake for my kids' school just to thank them because they had been so helpful during a really hard time in my life. And I never made one before. Didn't know how to take it off the pan, how to use YouTube, YouTube University.
Yep, absolutely.
And I ended up giving it to the kids' teachers, their staff, and the day of Christmas break when I went to pick up my boys, the secretary was like, Jen, where did you get the cheesecake? And I said, I made it. And she was like, get out of here. That was the best cheesecake we ever had. And I was like, really?
Shut the front door.
Yeah. And so for that Christmas, I thought, well, I'll make cheesecakes for gifts. I was on EBT, so I'll use that. Yeah. And I was working at a winery, pair it with the wine. And it just so happened to be my first Christmas without my boys. And so it became therapy for me and put everything into the cheesecakes. Day after Christmas, I posted my creations on my personal Facebook page. And I had 3 people reach out and ask me to make them one for New Year's and that they would pay me. And I just didn't feel right about that. But that is how it started, and it was a side hustle. And I went to school for social work, not business. Never had any plans of ever opening up my own business, ever. I didn't want to. I had people in my cohort that were like, well, Jen, you should open up a shop. Never. And we believe in Jesus Christ, and he is the one who created Beloved Cheesecake.
God is good, right?
He is so good all the time.
All the time. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Some people get that answer wrong. That's extremely powerful. And it's funny how stuff works like that, where it's like your feet can get moved in the places that they're supposed to be instead of, and he'll take them and he'll put them where they're supposed to be.
Oh, yeah.
Whether you want
it or not.
Yeah. And I got to say, I don't want to go too much into your past or anything like that. Minus like the entrepreneurial side of things and stuff, but it's very interesting on how our journeys can land us to where they are, and not to say like we have to go through things. I don't want to say it like that. It's like there's something better, and there's something forward for us.
Absolutely.
And especially if we can get out of our own way and listen a bit, right? And we can get to that spot instead of being that, that proverbial hell on earth and things like that.
I like to say, I want to grow better, not bitter.
Yeah.
And so, there's people that choose, they don't mean to, but they stay in that bitter state. And it's like, I don't want to grow bitter. I want to grow better.
Right.
So,
right. So, and I can imagine, so not wanting to go into business, but you found this therapeutic release, right, of what you're doing. I have 4 kids, right? My first son, I have a baby mama. Well, my first son, and so it is a rough world when you get thrown into that that single,
Yeah.
parenthood.
Yes.
You have 3 babies.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing in you is caring about how do I be the best
Yep.
version for them. And also at the same time making sure to be an example
Yes.
of what their limitations are. There aren't any.
Yes.
And if I am their first example of limitation, then they're going to follow suit. So that's, first off, that's incredibly powerful. Just where you're at now, but also allowing yourself to get to that spot too. Do you remember when that moment was when you were like, I'm gonna do business now? I'm gonna start, like, this is not just a side hustle, but
Yeah.
this is more than that.
Yeah. So I graduated in Portland State in 2018, and I had my internship was in criminal justice, parole and probation, and I thought that's what I was going to be able to go into. Probation officers make really good money.
Yep.
And I'm at like late 30s, and I'm working with 24-year-olds who are making 30 something dollars an hour. So
Right.
it's pretty good.
This makes sense.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. I think.
Yeah. So I tried to get into the criminal justice, and it wasn't working out. And I was doing cheesecakes, on the side. And I've always had a heart for special needs. And so I got a job being a special needs assistant at our local school district in Silverton. That's where I started.
Like a paraeducator? Is that what that is?
No, I was just an assistant. And I was like, my skill set was well above what I was doing, but I took any job I could get at the time. And that's what you do when you're trying to provide for your kids,
Absolutely.
And, but the school system is different. I didn't understand back then. I mean, I felt something in my spirit. I can't even explain it, but I loved my kids, the kids that I was working with and stuff, but you could feel the spiritual oppression in the school district, in the school system. It's weird.
No,
And
seriously.
it's true. So I quit, and I had this big order for cheesecakes, and I was really stressed how I was going to get it done anyways while I was working.
Yeah.
It was like 20 cheesecakes for a medical office, and here I am doing it in my house.
Yeah, right.
And so I started doing that, and I'm freezing cheesecakes. I'm cooking one at a time, and then a lady called me. She saw I had a generic business card, Cheesecakes by Jen, and she called me. I would post them on bulletin boards. She's like, I didn't know we had a cheesecake person in Silverton. I'm an editor for the paper. Can I do a story on you? And I was like, yeah, no, I don't have a certified kitchen. Number one.
Yeah.
And number two, I'm in the address confidentiality program. I came out of, really bad situation. And she's like, well, if you ever decide to do anything, publicly, let me know. I'd love to write a story on you. Cool. And that is when I started, I don't know, curiosity, I guess, of can I do this? Could I have a food truck? And so I started looking on Craigslist for food trucks. And then in my brain, I couldn't figure out how I could bake a cheesecake in a food truck. And, and then God just opened doors where literally I was downtown Silverton and a space was available. And I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know how it would work at all. The property managers, it was at Christmas time. They said, hey, we'll hold the space for you. And, you can contact the city and see what you need to do. And I was like, okay. So January 1st of 2019 is I had to make a decision. Am I going to go all in or not? And crazy. That's how God works in my life. But my therapy is Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or garage sales.
Yeah.
I was on Craigslist and I saw a liquidation sale for this coffee shop out in Gresham, and my boys and I went the 2 days later, and I supplied my whole shop. I mean, dishwasher, refrigerators, tables, chairs, silverware, chalkboard menu, everything, $2,500.
Shut up.
Yeah. And I was like, all right, Lord, I got it.
Seriously, I was gonna say.
Yeah, no. And so the only thing I needed to do then is now I'm in a cement, building that's just cement slab. and I needed to get plumbing and electrical and stuff like that. And so a girlfriend was like, Jen, we could do a Kickstarter. And I was like, yeah, I've never done this before. And so a Kickstarter started for me and funded my boys and I to open up Beloved Cheesecakes.
Your boys and you, huh?
We opened August of 2019, 8 months before the lockdown.
No kidding.
Yeah.
What was going through the lockdown for you guys?
Well, either you love me or you hate me. I chose to stay open and not comply.
Yeah.
And, I went through the School of Social Work, and you're taught to have a sense of self-agency. You don't tell people how to live their life. And I had trauma growing up. I came from an abusive childhood. My dad was a meth addict. And, he would have for punishment, putting a paper bag over my head was a form of punishment. And so now you're telling me to put a mask on my face, and I'm not going to do it. And if you want to, fine, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to make people put a mask on. And so it changed things a lot because there were people that loved that I was able to stand on my convictions, or there were a lot of people that hated that. And
when you went through that though, that I feel like everything's a test, right? Everything's a test. How much do we really believe in our convictions? How much do we, how much is this, how important is this actually to me? And a lot of times you can find out that it wasn't as important. And a lot of times it's a moment where you are called to be what you are called to be.
Yeah.
What after that moment, like in doing that and being in that, even though you, like you said, love me or hate me, I imagine that itself kind of probably came from like, no, I'm here and I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And you can't, he brought me here.
100%.
You think I'm going to close my door because flesh told me to?
Right. That's right. I went through a really painful, life experience in 2009, and it stripped me of every human affirmation, human like idol, wanting that acceptance. And I knew everything I went through. I was like, I got it now, God, because it put me in this place of I don't look to man for approval. It's only God. And if you audibly come down, God, and say, no, you're going to put on a mask, then I would. But other than that, I was like, I am seriously, he's my approval. It's not man. And now I understand why I had to go through what I went through to get me to this place. And I'm telling you, it has been amazing to see, what God has done. And, you go through all those pains and trials and you wonder why, but it is if you allow it to grow you better, it will, it's all for the kingdom. And what do we have to lose? I mean, this isn't my home here, know? And so I wasn't afraid of dying. I'm not afraid of dying, because this is not my home. And I don't put my gold and my, worth in this world. I put it in kingdom.
Yeah. What is it when Jesus talks about the Caesar on the coin, and should we pay taxes and stuff like that? He's like, what does it matter?
Yeah. Exactly.
It has nothing that's here. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
That's right.
Yeah. No, and that the what you're telling me, like I'm so grateful, and I feel like I've been put in this area, in this chair today. I've listened to a lot of people, and it's been a lot of ministry in our conversations and stuff, which has been a blessing. If I may ask this question, if you could go back in time and you're talking to you ran into that version of yourself before that realization, before that surrender and all that, and understanding I don't have to understand, right? He's got that taken care of. That freedom I'm going to get from this. What do you think you'd tell that version of yourself?
Ooh, I'm gonna have to think about that one.
You're good. We're editing it, so it's
yeah. That's a hard one because I don't know if there's anything I could have told myself. I think I had to go through what I went through to change my belief system, because I did have people tell me my worth and value over and repeatedly, but until until you're ready to receive it, you're not going to get it, And so I don't know if there's anything I could tell myself. I mean, I would tell myself you're worth more. And, I wouldn't have been in an abusive marriage. And, when I came out of the marriage, there was a lot of shame of people asking, why didn't you leave sooner? And, it's like, at first I was like, yeah, why didn't I? What's wrong with me? But how I didn't know, and how do you know when you don't know,
Right.
kind of
Right.
thing. And so I think we have to go through things regardless. I mean, I try and tell my kids who are, late teens, early 20s, and we try to protect them from things,
Yeah.
and they're going to have to go through their stuff too,
Yeah.
you know?
That I'm a knucklehead. So God had to hit me in the head a couple
Yeah.
times. You know what I mean? Before I got on the third boat. I don't
Yeah.
know if you heard that parable of the guy that was in the house.
Yes.
It was yeah. He's like, I said three. I said
Yes.
3 boats.
Yes.
Why did you get off the little boat? And to your point, right? Like if I were to talk to my old self, right? The only thing that I could even hope that I could tell myself and that my old self would grasp
Yeah.
is, hey, listen,
Yeah.
just listen, shut everybody else out and listen to your stomach, your
Yeah.
heart. Cause
Yeah.
it's an interesting correlation between that gut feeling,
Yeah.
right? Whatever that is. I know what it is.
Yeah, that's the
right?
Holy Spirit.
Exactly.
He
right?
is telling you.
Right.
Yeah.
And when your heart and your stomach can communicate and get on the
Yes.
same page, you can convince your brain.
Yeah. It's true.
Right? It's 3-1, okay?
Yeah.
Brain, you're gonna listen to us. I know you don't want to, but you're gonna put this brain power to this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well then maybe this then. How about to the person that is, let's say, maybe not as much trauma or struggle that they've gone through, right? But the single mom, right? Who knows that she can do more, wants to do more, right? We all look at the mirror, and the mirror is the only version of ourselves that really can communicate to us, make us feel bad. Anybody else can say all kinds of stuff, but until I look myself in the mirror and I agree,
Yeah.
right? That's the only time I ever feel that way. What would you say to that person to change that reflection?
I think, and I'm learning this now, and I'm so far from perfect. I struggle with, and have you heard of the book, The Gap and the Gain?
Might have heard of it,
It's
but I
a
don't think I know much
it's a
about it.
really good book. A lot of entrepreneurs read it, and it's a gut
Write that down.
punch. Yeah,
I'm gonna write
no,
that down.
yeah, and I gotta turn off my phones on loud.
Good.
But the gap in the gain is where it talks about how, as humans, a lot of us will focus on where we're not and where we want to be. And that I struggle with that because I can look at where I am right now and it's like, no, I'm not here yet. I want to be there and that's the gap because I'm looking at what I'm wanting versus looking at the gain of where I came from and looking back at that and having that mindset of no, wow, look at where I've come from. I have come this far,
Yeah.
And so I think that's what I would try to tell, because I'm learning it and I'm so far from perfect of getting it. But a single mom is just don't think about because I'm speaking to that because I can look at where you want to be, but just look at where you were and where you came from, and it will continue to get better.
No, that's a huge point. That's very, very powerful. The amount of work that we've already done, we definitely discount.
Yes.
And once we get past something, we're like, okay, I'm past it.
Yep.
Instead of being able to reflect on it and being like, especially in those times that are tougher,
Yep.
right? Like I got through that. What's this?
Yep.
Another thing? My demons get better.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like obviously they're evolving with me too. So I, got to get back in the gym. You can do this. You've seen so much, and there's a lot of power in self-opposing power that we can get by just taking a second to look back. And I run into a problem of control, right? In the sense of like, I'm the only person that can control what I do and all this kind of stuff, or which direction I go and all that kind of stuff. And what'll happen is that God will put me into a place. And I'm like, okay, time to work. And he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm the one working.
Oh, all the time.
You
Happens to me all the time.
just be where I put you.
Yes.
And
Oh,
do your best to be like me.
yes.
And it's very interesting how powerful our minds can be and how much that they can be hijacked in that regard.
Very much.
And taking that reflection, taking that moment to think about where you've been. And there's a lot of surrender in understanding where you've been and how you've gotten there. Because a lot of times the stuff that we think back on, even just like, how did I make it through teenager? Like, you're like, you know what I mean? How did I even, why am I here? You know?
Yes.
And, but there's a lot that pulled you through. And when it comes to like trying to find some type of divinity and trying to find some type of hook to be able to attach yourself to, that's part of you, looking at your past and looking at how far you've made it.
Yeah.
And then when you've done those things, the ripple effect that you've had on the people around you, I can only imagine. And then one day God's going to be able to tell you, he's going to show you, he's going to be like, look what we did.
Yeah.
Look what we did together.
Yeah.
This is incredible.
Yeah.
Well, tell us a little bit more about your guys' products a little bit and what you guys kind of going to where people can find your products at.
Belovedcheesecakes.com, and we're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, all of that. And it is God. I tell everyone that I talk to, or they ask about Beloved Cheesecakes, is that He's the one who created Beloved Cheesecakes. And someone said to me years ago, Jen, you didn't create Beloved Cheesecakes for God. God created Beloved Cheesecakes for you. And I was like, that is so true. And it's been an amazing journey. It's been 7 years. August will be 7 years. Have fallen in love with business. I love entrepreneurs. I have a passion for young entrepreneurs. My dream is to someday, instead of giving money to scholarships for school, but that I can have young entrepreneurs come and pitch me their ideas. Yeah. And then I have young entrepreneurs products in my store, and I haven't been charging them, which is kind of not good. So now I'm charging them 7%, and that 7% is going into a fund for the grants for entrepreneurs in the future. But yeah, it's just really cool because it's being in business, I have learned so much. If I was working a 9 to 5, there's no way I'd be where I'm at today. And the people that I get to meet, you and being here at the Northwest Food Show, I've learned so many different terminologies this time. And I'm like, wow, this is cool. Yeah. And to see where I'm growing, and, we have 18 employees, and to be able to provide jobs. I mean, I know where I was at, and, it's awesome. And I hire people with special needs and giving them purpose. It's just the best thing in the world. It really is. So belovedcheesecakes.com. We ship all over the nation. We're in Zupan's Market, or in Newport Avenue Market in Bend. We're in Hilton Hotel, Wilsonville, Parkway Grill. We're in lots of different restaurants in Albany, Canby, Backstop Bar and Grill. So
it's one last thing that I just got to mention. It's absolutely incredible. And so being in the military, right?
Oh, thank you for serving.
Oh, no, appreciate it. As a taxpayer, you helped me shoot big guns. Thank you. They paid me to do it. I promise you will not frown when you throw a grenade. There's a lot of facial expression. Frowning isn't one of them. But the amount, and the reason why I say that is just because, like, talking about negative things aren't as impactful as they are for a lot of other people. So the amount of people that affected you negatively, God has taken and multiplied the amount of people that you affect positively, because of this fraction of people in the universe that affected you in a negative way, now have created you to affect so many people in a positive way.
I like that.
So Jen, please keep doing what you're doing. I'm very excited for you, and your husband's incredible dude too.
Yes, that's a God story too.
Yeah, I bet. Maybe one of these days we can take you on one of our other shows that we do. Yeah. We go take the local business owner to a local restaurant, talk about their local food, but we talk about your story and everything over that.
I like that.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. The energy in the local business and for everybody involved just elevates, and it's an incredible thing to do. just be part of.
Yeah.
But I'd love to hear more about it. But otherwise, make sure to check out Beloved Cheesecake, guys. I'm telling you right now that Oreo, as an Oreo, I identify with that cheesecake.
That's awesome.
Jen, I appreciate you.
Yeah,
And
thank
hey,
you.
God is working.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited to see it.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you.